One more, 2.5. Number 2, it says to solve the quadratic equation by factoring, and then enter your answers as a comma separated list. So here we have 16x squared plus 58x plus 7, which is equal to 0. So the first question we want to ask ourselves is, can we factor anything out of these three terms? Well, we can't. So therefore, we're going to have to factor this by using the AC method. So let's start and see if we can do that by using the AC method. So by AC, meaning that 16 represents A, 7 represents C. So 16 times 7 gives us 112. And so now what we're going to do is then take 112 as our AC, and then the middle number is going to be 58. So we need to figure out what two numbers can we multiply to get 112, and when we add them together, it's going to give us positive 58. So if we look over here, let's go ahead and look at the prime factorization of 112. We already know that 16 and 7, those two numbers, when we multiply them together, are going to give you 112. So we could start out with those two numbers. Now we can't break down 7 much, but we can break down 16. We can break that down to be 2 and 8. So let's take a look at the three numbers that multiply to get 112. Well, if we multiply 7 and 8 together, that's going to give us 56. And if we multiply that by 2, that's going to give us 112, and when we add them together, it's going to give us 58. So now, we're going to rewrite the first term, which is 16x squared, and the two middle terms are going to be 2x and 56x, and then we're going to write our last term, which is 7. Now we'll come back and put in the equal sign after, but we're just factoring now. And now we're going to factor by grouping. So I'm going to draw a line here. We can say, okay, what two numbers can we factor out of the first two terms? We can factor out a 2x, and then what's left is 8x plus 1. And so we should get the same thing on this side, 8x plus 1. So what can we factor out, or what do we need to multiply by 8x to get 56x? Well, that answer is 7. So if we distribute the 7, we would get 56x plus 7. And so therefore, this is now our factor. We have 8x plus 1 that we can factor out. And then what's left is 2x plus 7. And now we're going to set that equal to 0. And now in step 4, we're going to set both of them equal to 0 by using the zero product rule. So we have 8x plus 1, which is equal to 0, or 2x plus 7, which is equal to 0. If we subtract 1 to both sides, we get negative 1. Divide both sides by 8, we have negative 1/8. Or over here, we can subtract 7 to both sides, and divide both sides by 2, we get negative 7/2. So our two answers are negative 7/2, comma, negative 1/8.